Jennifer says, in my daily life, I find myself very much in the now and enjoying 95% of everything that I do. I spend time journaling and at least an hour daily listening to Kyle Abraham and Joe Dispenza. I see some people going so deep and I genuinely, so who's this comparer? Okay, you have your own life, right? Now you're going, I see people going so deep. So you're leaving yourself for a comparison of where you perceive, you don't even know where you perceive that other people are, right? I hear it now. I see some people going so deep and I genuinely never feel a reason to go that deep. Make that okay. See, maybe you don't want to go that deep. And by the way, this is all changing. So maybe you won't want to go that deep. And then in a month, it'll be like, now we go really deep or whatever. But don't get too caught in what anyone else is doing and think you better go deeper. Maybe they're doing it wrong, or maybe they're doing it perfect for their way and not yours. But guys, do not compare yourself to other people's spiritual journeys. You don't know at all that you're right. You don't know what you're comparing. You don't understand what's happening there. Do not do that. It's you and God. You have your own way. Do not get caught in being like, well, that person does it this, that person's doing it this way, so I'm not in. Dude, one thing I've noticed after, the 2,000 clients I had the last couple of years is how no matter where everyone was, they think they're not supposed to be there. I had a client saying like, I just have so many problems. And then I had a guy come to me once because he didn't have any problems. He had a problem with that everything was fine. Right. And I noticed that like our problem is we just think like, he's like, well, I see you. He was like, well, everything's fine for me. And I see you healing all these other people. And then the other people are like triggered that, they have their actual problems. But the biggest problem is that we're not okay with where we are. Whatever's coming up is supposed to. Right. So when your problem is you don't want to go as deep as the other people, your actual problem is you still have a pattern that is like, I don't know, Jennifer, if it's like, be like your sister, or what's bringing this thing to that's going, oh, it's not okay. Like there's a you that has a unique, every one of you, there's a you that has a unique way. And if I brought in that comparison energy, I would easily feel like something's wrong with me. For instance, I do not like being at parties at all. I don't. And like, I'll be with people like, we're going to a big event and there's going to be, everyone's wearing unicorn shit on their face and it's going to be this thing. And like the amount of how much I don't want to go to that is so big. And that's fine if anyone wants to, but it's going to be huge. And, Armpit Joe is going to play a song about God and it'll be the spiritual thing. And I'm like, there's so many levels and I'll often be like, is there something wrong with me? I don't, and then when the clock hits this number and then that we say to the guides, love to the fuck, I don't want to go to that at all. I just don't want to be there. I'm sorry. And it's okay that I don't want to be there. But why would you not want to? You're Kyle Seastow. And I'm like, I don't want to be there. I don't care about that. I don't care about that. And I think that it's just because I'm hearing a thing that I want to do. And I just never, in fact, there's a sketch coming where I end up going to a party that is in this kind of over spiritual where everyone thinks is a sign. And I don't have a problem with thinking things are a sign, but like, it's funny when we do that over our own intuition, and you'll see it soon. But like my big point is I don't get caught in stuff that I'm not saying isn't legitimate and isn't awesome, but I have no part of me that's like caught in too much of the Mercury retrograde stuff or you might notice how much I don't say that. You know what I mean? Like I'd love to see Armpit Joe too, right? So that's a me thing. But like, if I had that compare thing, I'd be like, everyone else is there. And I just am like, it's just totally fine that I don't want to do that. Do you know what I'm saying? And I have no judgment for anyone who does. And Jennifer, you have your own way unfolding. So let go of how deep you perceive everyone. Dude, you know what, Jennifer? Some of those people, and I'm not saying this is the case, but some of those people could be fake deep. Do you get what I mean by that? Some of those people they're going so deep could absolutely have no idea what what Joe Dispenza is talking about and are there for significance and are like, thank you. And I'm downloading that. And like, you're just like, okay, I'm not like them. And I'm like, maybe you're not. Like, maybe it's not as complicated and maybe you are. I don't know. But I've had a thing where I know about the long stare. You know, I've spoken at a million events and there's always someone telling me how intuitive they are and they can't see I'm trying to go pee. But they'll tell me instantly about my great grandpa, right? Your great grandpa wants you to know. And I'm like, if you're intuitive, you'd see I'm trying to get around you. And they're like, I'm downloading that. Let me give you my gift. And I'm just like, oh, this isn't necessarily, but I could trick myself and be like, I'm not as deep as them because they're doing this thing. They're doing this thing with the air, when they're doing this, like, let me just do something on you. I'm just like, okay, I don't know what that is. Right. I don't know what this is, but I could trick myself and be like, man, I'm not that deep, because I don't do this as much. I don't do this a lot. Right. This thing where, did you once have a childhood? Yes. Yes. Okay. Thank you for your intuition. You know what I'm saying? Like, ooh. Or a thing I have a hard time with is post psychics where they tell you everything after it happened. How many kids do you have? One. I was going to say one. I felt that. When's your birthday? September 19th. That feels right. Okay. You're just confirming what I said. That's not that's not psychic. Psychic predicts before it, right? I'm psychic. What's your name? Kyle. It felt like Kyle. No, okay. I better go. So I'm just pointing out that you have your own way and all ways are great, but just your way and if your connection to yourself is magic and it's awesome and it's allowed and you can still be spiritual and not look as deep and you can be spiritual and not know about planet alignment and you can totally also enjoy that. They all are allowed. But I've gotten to this place where I just understand I'm just different than that. And it's okay. And Jennifer, you can be too. Every human being is unfolding. Even the ones that you perceive as unconscious are completely unfolding. They might do it in a different way that doesn't look like they're part of the thing in the same way. You know what I'm saying? But every person is evolving, whether it's you getting really, really aware and being in the moment and then using that now presence to transcend things, or you burn your hand on the stove and learn not to do that anymore. Both of those are a lesson that raise your awareness. So even if it's just you're watching football and eating Cheetos, or you're in the now meditating, we are all evolving, right? And so everything is perfect. And Jennifer, you're doing it perfectly. And if they look deeper, that's fine. They're just doing their way. And some might be really in a deep thing, but you don't have to be where they are.